Hey, I'm Maud. Today I wanted to talk about writing. So, I want to be a writer when I grow up. Um, and I just wanted to tell you a little bit about that, I guess. So, I'm not a good writer. I'm like, frankly, I'm a really bad writer. I took AP English, language and composition last year, and I got a 2 on the test. I'm not a good writer, but I really love to write, and that's what I want to do when I grow up. Um, so, I'm not good at writing. I am absolutely dreadful at essay writing. I can't force myself to write an essay for the life of me. Um, I always procrastinate on them, and I can just never do it. Obviously, I do it, because I'm in high school and you have to, but if I could choose, I would never write an essay. I hate outlining, and I hate having to act like I care about these things that I don't care about. Like, one time I had to write an essay about the death penalty decision they made in 2008. Like, I don't care. It's over. That was in 2008. I don't really have an opinion on it. I mean, I now I have an opinion on the death penalty, but I didn't. I didn't want to. um, so yeah, I guess I'm not good at writing. I don't feel confident in my writing ability. But I still want to write anyway. So I don't know. I guess you can say I'm stubborn, or just not willing to accept the facts. I don't know. So yeah, but um, I've always loved reading. I remember in the second grade, I second grade was like a big year for me. Um, I That was the year that I decided to become, smart. Um, so I remember my cousin, who was also going to that school at the time. She read the Harry Potter series like after first grade. She's always been a genius. She's super smart. Um, so I wanted to read the Harry Potter series. So I read it. It took about, I think, 2 months for me to get through all of the Harry Potter books. And I'm sure, like, a lot of it went over my head because, second graders, you're like, what, 7 years old? And there's a whole lot of themes in Harry Potter that you don't really understand until, you're a bit older. And I wasn't allowed to watch most of the movies, but I did read all the books. So that was fun, and it was really funny because after my cousin and I did it, I guess we sort of set the trend, and after a while, the entire school was reading Harry Potter. So that was really fun. Um, and I remember in second grade, I was I was I just thought I was the best person in the world all the time. I had a lot of confidence back then. I remember looking at this sheet of paper that I saw on my teacher's desk, and it had like our reading levels, and I was level 7th grade. I was so proud. Like, that changed my life. Like, oh, I'm reading better than all of these kids. I'm reading better than kids who are in middle school. I just, I was so, I just was so, felt like I was such a genius. I wasn't, of course. But I felt like that, and that kind of really helped me to love reading more. And so I always kept reading after that. I always, I read lots and lots of fantasy. I read just so many books. Like, I don't even remember most of them. Like, people will tell me about these books that I should read, and I'll be like, I think I might have read that. I am not sure. Um, that happens to me a lot, and I just love reading. But I guess we're talking about writing, so I remember. I've always, after I really started loving to read and like reading for pleasure instead of for school, I got into story writing too, and I would write lots of little stories and just little things. I remember I wrote a story about this boy who runs away from home and has to eat a snail because I had recently learned that people in France eat snails. So I don't know. I just liked writing little stories, and none of them are very good. But that's okay. it was fun nonetheless. And then last summer, I kind of tried to get a little bit more serious about it. I drafted a fantasy novel because actually it was Hank Green. I don't know if you probably know the Vlog brothers, but Hank Green, he one time in a video he talked about how he loves books where there's like 35 different plot lines and then they all like get united into one thing at the end. And so I was like, okay, well I can do that. So I came up with 35 characters in a little town, and I just kind of wrote about them from like different perspectives. It was pretty fun. And then I wrote like a little fantasy sort of novel that really, like, it's not organized enough for it to be anything, but it's just a couple of teenagers who try to save the world. So that's always fun. And then, you know, I just really enjoyed it. It was just very fun for me to sit down and not really have any reason to write, not really have like any specific motive, and just be like, I'm just gonna see what happens. So that was really fun for me. And then in November, my librarian from my school challenged me. He was like, hey Maud, just if you want to, if you feel like this would be a fun thing for you, you should try NaNoWriMo. So I was like, yeah, okay. And I was still 17, so I decided to do the Youth Writers Program, which is, you know, they have like a little bit lower standards. It's like you're supposed to write at least 30,000 words on average instead of 50,000, but I was like, whatever, I'm doing 50,000 because I wanted to. So I did it. I wrote, I didn't really do the thing where you're supposed to write like a little bit every day. Instead, I would like write a lot one day and then not write for 3 days and then like have to catch up, or, you know, I didn't really stick with it, but I did end up getting the 50,000 words before the deadline, and so that was fun. I wrote a novel. I haven't edited it at all, but I plan to, and so if I ever publish it, I'll let you know. And so yeah, I love writing. I love reading. Those two kind of go hand in hand. And there was one other thing I wanted to say. The thing about writing is, like, you know, when you're reading, when I'm reading, like, if you love to read, you probably get this feeling like books are just all amazing. But when you're writing, you're kind of writing not for readers, you're sort of writing for people who don't want to read, and you're trying to convince them that they want to read, I guess. So that's kind of, you're just sort of battling with the reader. So that's it kind of is sort of weird to me. Like, you're sort of, you aren't writing for the people who are going to read your book. You're writing for the people who probably aren't going to read your book, because that's the way that you make it the easiest and most fun to read, which is sad, but it makes sense. So, yeah, let me know if you have any books that you love to read, or let me know how you got into reading or writing, or if you don't like reading, let me know too. I'm curious. I want to hear everything. Thank you so much. Have a great day.